Tonight, a possible break for Benjamin LaGuer, a man convicted of raping an elderly Leominster woman almost 2 decades ago.
LaGuer has long fought to prove his innocence, and tonight in this WBZ exclusive, Dan Rea reveals a newly found piece of evidence that never made it to trial, a piece of evidence that could eventually lead to LaGuer's freedom.
Ben LaGuer has spent more than half his life in prison, convicted for rape. In court for years, LaGuer has proclaimed his innocence, but to date, all of his legal appeals have failed. At LaGuer's 1984 trial, the prosecution claimed no full fingerprints were found inside the small apartment here in Leominster, where the victim was repeatedly raped. At trial, Ben LaGuer's defense lawyer asked the lead Leominster police detective on the case, quote, "The man was in there 8 hours and you didn't find one print that matched Benji LaGuer's," unquote. Detective Ronald Carrigan answered, quote, "No, I did not find any prints to match," unquote, which technically is an accurate answer. What Carrigan did not tell the jury was that he did find 4 fingerprints on the base of this trimline telephone. The victim of the rape was bound by the cord of that phone, making any fingerprints found potentially of great value. And in a state police lab report prepared by then-Trooper Arthur Martin, just 1 day after the rape, 4 fingerprints were found on the base of that phone, and a comparison of those prints made with a suspect, Benjamin LaGuer, produced negative results.
They do not match Mr. LaGuer. They did not match Mr. LaGuer less than 2 days after the rape occurred. The police knew within 48 hours that there were 4 fingerprints found at the scene that weren't his.
Professor David Siegel of the New England School of Law filed a motion for a new trial today.
The revelation of evidence that was hidden from the defense that showed the defendant didn't commit the crime is a basis for a new trial.
Here in Worcester, District Attorney John Conte refused comment on the significance of this new fingerprint information, saying he, quote, would not be getting into anything on the Benjamin LaGuer case until the DNA results have been returned, which should be shortly, unquote. From prison, I spoke with Ben LaGuer.
I think we should have a hearing tomorrow morning and John Conte appear in that courthouse and explain to the judge and explain to the reporters why 20 years later we are still finding evidence that excludes me from that horrendous crime against that woman.
LaGuer insists the pending DNA test will exclude him as the rapist, while this new fingerprint information should encourage everyone to conduct those DNA tests as soon as possible. From Worcester, Dan Rea, WBZ 4 News.